We are live. We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are live. And this evening on the Huddle, I have a question for you, Huddle community. Those of you who are OGs who've been riding in with us for years and years, and those of you who are new tonight, are you a content creator who's working a 9 to 5 job, working mom, working dad, working family man, working family woman, family responsibilities, but you want to create content on YouTube, but you just can't find the balance? You're struggling to grow on YouTube while working a 9 to 5 job. Well, tonight we're going to get into this discussion on how you can grow your YouTube channel while working a 9 to 5 job as a working class content creator. And we're starting right now. Praise the Lord, everyone. Welcome to the Huddle. I'm your host, Walter Strong, where it's our goal to help working class content creators like yourself to grow your channel, get more views, and make money online. And as we said in our opening tonight, we're going to be sharing 10 tips and more on how to grow your YouTube channel as a working class content creator, working a 9 to 5 job while you have family responsibilities, personal commitments, and other things that you have to learn to balance in your life while trying to grow a small YouTube channel so you can be able to hit those milestones of 1,000 subscribers, $4,000 of watch time, and more. And so if you're new here tonight, let me know in the chat where you're watching me from. Give me a hashtag Team Live in the chat. If you're watching the replay of this episode, give me a hashtag Team Replay in the comment section and let me know where you're watching me from. And as we said tonight, we're just going to be talking about 10 important tips on helping you and me how to grow on YouTube, how to grow our channels while we're working 9 to 5 jobs. And so without further ado, let's get into the content tonight. It's so good to be back live here on the Huddle. Last Sunday, we were not live. We took the night off and enjoyed Father's Day along with the millions and other millions of fathers throughout this country, where this country takes the time and pause and acknowledges and celebrates fathers. So I spent that time with my family, having dinner and spending that time with my daughter and having quality time. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, being present as a father, being present as a person in your family while you're working a 9 to 5 job, but yet you have that passion to want to grow your YouTube channel. And so tip number one is simply you have to have a long-term mindset. Make sure I got that right. A long-term mindset towards growing your YouTube channel. You have to be able to be willing to accept the fact that, hey, YouTube is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's not about trying to make the next viral video, to make the next good piece of content that you can publish on YouTube that, boom, that's going to take off and explode and go viral. For you and me as working class content creators, we have to have a long-term mindset mentality approach. We understand that our growth is going to be organic. So we shouldn't be looking to take shortcuts on trying to speed this process up, because organic growth that is grown organically and that is done the right way, you've put in the hard work, you've developed the skills, you've did all the things that it takes to be able to make good quality videos, to be able to connect with the right audience, is growth over a long-term period that you can appreciate. You know that you're doing it right. You understand there's going to be some bumps and some setbacks along the path. There are going to be some mistakes that you're going to make along the path. There are going to be times where live streams that you do where you end up muting yourself while you're live, or you end up going live and you forget to hit publish before you go live, and now you hit the go live button and you don't realize that you have the video unlisted the entire time, and you're wondering, man, where is my community, where is my audience? They're always there for me. And you don't realize that you end up having a moment that you forget to publish your live screen. You forget to you know to turn your microphone while you're recording a video. All of that is going to be a part of the long-term process, and you have to be comfortable with that as a content creator. And the mistakes that you make, rest assured, there are mistakes that are learning lessons that you can learn from and say, okay, this worked, but this needs more improvement. This needs to be changed. This needs to be adjusted. And so when you have a long-term mentality, a long-term mindset, you won't allow yourself to fall into the trap of comparing yourself to other content creators that you see whose channels and whose videos have growth, and whose videos are climbing and growing and getting between 1,000 to 2,500 in views, and whereas your growth, it's taking time. And so you don't fall into the comparison trap. You don't start trying to compare yourself to other channels. It's okay to learn from other channels that have a similar niche that you are in. It's okay to learn from other content creators on the best practices, but we shouldn't be trying to mimic them. We shouldn't be trying to imitate them. We have to be our authentic self. We have to be our own unique and the person that we are when we get in front of the camera and we press record. We get in front of the camera and we go live. And it's all about having a long-term mindset. Having a long-term mindset will help you to, I believe, help you to stay motivated over a period of time until you start to see that success. Having a long-term mindset mentality will help you to stay consistent through this journey of being on content, doing content creation of YouTube. But also having a long-term mentality, I believe, will help you and me to stay disciplined. Stay disciplined. What happens when you feel like the motivation is not there? What happens when you struggle to be consistent? When those things are running low, at least you can stay disciplined. Discipline. Consistency helps build repetition. Discipline helps build character that people can count on you as a content creator through the long haul, having a long-term mindset. So that's tip number one. Tip number two, as a working class content creator, you want to make sure that your family has bought into your goals and your interest on YouTube. Now, when I say family buying into your goals and your interests, that does not necessarily mean that you're putting unnecessary pressure for them to support you in ways that you would want your audience to support you. Because YouTube, to the casual viewer, is just watching videos that serve an interest to them, and not so much in terms of viewing it and seeing it from a content creation standpoint. And I think sometimes when we want our families to buy into our goals and our interest and our passion into YouTube, we put this undue pressure on them and saying, "Hey, I need you to watch my latest video that I posted. I need you to share my video with Aunt um Ruby. I need you to share my video with your cousin Dion." When the truth of the matter is, you just want them to buy into why you're passionate and why YouTube is important to you, and what you're looking to accomplish. Your spouse may not necessarily share the same goals and interests about YouTube the way you do, but she may be interested, he may be interested in something else that is a passion and that is important to them. And what they simply want from you is to buy in and to support what they are passionate and what they feel is important to them. And so what they're looking for is not to put undue pressure on you or have this unrealistic expectation that you have to do all these things to prove your support and to prove your willingness to buy into what they're doing. But the simple fact that they're there to support you, they're there to encourage you. They understand that, hey, as long as you are taking care of your responsibilities to make sure that a roof is over everyone's head, there's food on the table, you're working together in partnership financially, and there's communication in the home, you're there to be there for your son and your daughter. That's family buy-in. However, and I'm gonna speak to the male creators here. If you as a male are not carrying out your responsibilities as a man, because I believe a male and a man are two different things. A male is a matter of birth, but being a man is a matter of choice. I'll say that again. Being a male is a matter of birth, but being a man is a matter of choice. That was spoken by the late Edwin Lewis, Dr. Edwin Lewis Cole. And so, as a content creator, instead of you going and purchasing the latest Canon or Sony camera, that's $1,000, but what your wife needs car repairs of $1,000, you don't take that $1,000 and buy the latest camera when you have your iPhone or your smartphone that you can record videos. If you want your family to buy in, you got to be taking care of your responsibilities. And the same can be said for the woman, the wife or the mother. You can't be chasing after all these likes and comments and having people to share your videos, my sister, when your children want your same attention regarding the things that are important to them and what they need your involvement in. You see what I'm saying here? We want family buy-in, but family buy-in comes in with a price, and that price simply is you doing the things that you're supposed to do in the home. And after you've worked your 40 hours, after you put in the time that you're normally supposed to do with your family, then you carve out your YouTube time. Then you spend that time in building your YouTube channel and working on your videos. Okay, which takes me right into my next tip. Scheduling, having a content calendar that you can schedule time when you are going to be able to make content and create content and publish content on YouTube or go live on YouTube. Having a content calendar when you can do that. You making the time for YouTube based on the content calendar that you make. You make time to be able to make and keep certain appointments that you know are important that you have to make in your own personal and your professional life, your YouTube journey should be treated the same way when you schedule and make the time for you to sit down and to spend time and to research content topics, content ideas, working on your titles and your thumbnails. You do that through the time that you scheduled. When it comes time for recording videos or putting together or run a show for a live stream, you do that based upon the calendar and schedule that you've made time for these things to happen. When you don't have a content calendar and you don't set and make and schedule time for these things, and you kind of, and I've made the same mistake over, years past, where I just kind of grab the time when it's available and just start working on a YouTube video or a YouTube live stream. I just kind of grab the time as it's available. But what I've come to learn, that that's not always the best effective way to be able to work towards making good quality content that's going to get views and that's going to connect with an audience. We have to have a content calendar and schedule so that way we can balance this out as working class content creators while working a 9 to 5 job, while have family, having commitments and responsibilities, or volunteering with our church, but still being consistent on YouTube. And so having a content schedule along with that content schedule is putting together a workflow from the time when you're doing your topic and your research for your content ideas and your videos, to the workflow of how you put together your titles and working on your thumbnails, to the time it's time to publish and record videos, a workflow that works with in terms of with your editing in editing videos. And then after you spent time editing videos and then uploading the videos and working on, making sure that they're optimized so that way they can be put in the best position, so that when you publish those videos or when you go live with your live stream, you've put yourself in the best position for your YouTube channel and your videos to be successful based upon the goals of your channel. And so having a content calendar and scheduling and making time to put these things into motion, and having a workflow, developing a system. Again, we can stay motivated only for so long. We can be consistent for so long. Life be lifing. But when we start to be disciplined, we stay disciplined in working on our workflow. It's building repetition. It's building character. It's building trust with our audience, that they can depend upon us to make content that they can look forward to watching, whether it's once a week, twice a week. You have to have a content workflow. And so, hey, if you're getting great value out of this episode on how to grow on YouTube as a working class content creator, working a 9 to 5 job and family and more, hey, click that like button for me, hit that thumbs up, share this on your favorite social media platform. Let me know what's your YouTube channel and your niche on what you're creating content for. Let me know in the chat. And if you're watching me on the replay, let me know what your YouTube channel is about and your niche audience that you're trying to reach. Okay. The next step that I want to talk about is, as you have a content schedule, as you have a content workflow, as you're planning out your content, and as you're working on your content strategy, I think it's important that, for me, I'm finding it more and more important now to learn to get faster, to learn to get faster on the things that we do as a part of our content creation process. Whether if it's learning to get faster in recording multiple videos, you know, when we first start out, yeah, it may take, an hour to 2 hour to record videos. But through repetition, as you stay consistent and as you, through repetition, continue to stay disciplined in your recording videos, the process of time of recording one video to 2 to 3 videos should get faster. The same can be said with editing. I remember when I first started learning to how to edit and starting to look for B-roll, um, it could sometimes take me anywhere between 3 to 4 hours. And after I was done, I was exhausted. But I found the more that I got more consistent with it, and then I did it more, and I was more just persistent at doing it more, I got faster. But where I kind of dropped off in my editing skills is I didn't spend a lot of time learning about shortcuts that different editing software can provide me and you, certain hotkeys that can help speed up the process. And as a result, when you keep editing videos from 2 to 3 hours, after a while, you kind of get worn down, you get tired. And so I'm starting to make more of a concerted effort to get back into editing videos, but with the purpose of learning to get faster, learning more about shortcuts. So for me, I use Canva for a lot of my recorded videos in my editing. So learning what shortcuts are available, learning what hotkeys are available will help me to get faster. Well, what if you record videos? What editing software are you using? Are you using DaVinci, like my man John Lacey does for live streaming with John Lacey? Are you using Adobe Premiere? And if you are you utilizing the hotkeys? Are you utilizing the shortcuts? Because the more we learn to get faster, the more the process becomes more smoother, the more confidence we build. Now, you may say, well, editing is not my strong suit. And if that's not a strong suit, but if you feel it's something you can outsource through Fiverr or through another content creator who does and specializes in editing, and you can put it within your budget, then by all means. The goal is to get the project done faster. Because we don't have the luxury of working full time on YouTube, just spending all day creating content or, for so many hours. I heard one person say that sometimes trying to start and go full time on YouTube when you don't really have a lot of experience at this, and you don't have a lot of structure in place, what should take maybe 30 minutes to an hour could, for someone who's new to this, could end up taking 2 to 3 hours, and you've wasted all this precious important time. And so we have to appreciate the gift that we have in the season of life that we're in. I'll say that again. Me and you have to learn to appreciate the gift that we've been given in the season of life that we're in, that's going to help us to grow our YouTube channels and to get more views and to make more money online. Instead of despising this season in life. Oh, but you don't understand, Walter. I just don't like my full-time job. I want to go into business for myself. I don't want to work for someone anymore. I want to work for myself. Okay. In this season of life that you are in, this gift that you have, what are you doing to position yourself 6 months or a year from now so that you can do this, where that way you are much faster at it? What's your strategy? What's your plan? Are you just saying, oh, I'm just going to keep publishing videos on YouTube and eventually I'm just going to have a viral video? I'm going to have a breakout video that's going to get me tons and tons and thousands of views, subscribers after subscribers. Come on. We talked about having unrealistic expectations. As a working class content creator, that's not going to work for you and me. And so we got to learn how to strategize and put ourselves in position. So if that is the goal for you to be as a full-time content creator, when the time comes, you're ready. You know what it takes, what you need to do in terms of being monetized to replace that income that you work. So that way, not only will you have the salary replaced, but you have the income and revenue there to cover yourself for your health, your dental, and your vision benefits. And if you have a family, to make sure that they're covered. Well, you say, well, my spouse, she takes care of the benefits. She takes care of the health. Well, guess what? What happened if you got to call on Aflac, the duck, Aflac? And if you don't have disability insurance and now she doesn't have the benefits, you as the head of the household, I'm speaking to the man, as the man who's the head of the household, the man who's supposed to be the provider, the protector, the one who's supposed to be present, if you don't think these things through, guess what? It's not going to work. So learning to get faster, whether if it's in recording, whether if it's in editing, whether if it's in scripting videos, doing runner shows for your live streams. Hey, learn to get faster. Hey, if you're getting great value out of this episode on how to grow your channel, get more views and make money online as a working class content creator while working a 9-to-5 job, click that like button for me, hit that thumbs up, share this on your favorite social media platform, which takes me to my next tip. As you learn to get faster, learn and embrace the art of batching. Rather, the art of batching is recording multiple videos. The art of batching in editing multiple videos. The art of batching in terms of putting scripts together for your videos. Batch things out so that way you can be able to optimize your time. You can be able to get projects done faster versus doing these things where you're struggling and you're grabbing for time and you get into that place where you are exhausted and you're tired and you feel like you can't make the next upload by next Tuesday or the next upload by next Thursday. You start to embrace the art of batching and you build up a bank of content. If you need to take off a week or two in publishing videos, you have a bank of content that's there you can pull from. You have enough pre-recorded episodes if you're doing live streams or podcast that you can pull from because you've batched it out. You've batched it out. And so you want to take the time to do these things. Let's see who's in the content. I feel you. It's hard, especially to come in here. So I'm gonna pause because I'm on a roll, and I appreciate the fact that you took the time to stop and to watch this episode. I feel you. It's hard, especially on multiple sites. Flashback vibes daily. Each time I decide to go live flashback, I think about multi-streaming. Should I multi-stream to multiple platforms? Because it's my desire. It's my desire to be able to go where my audience is. It's to be able to reach and find the audience and bring them to YouTube. But what I keep coming back to, flashback, is I got to learn how to master and become good in one sandbox. Master and become good in one sandbox. Because if you, my friend, if you're working a 9 to 5 job and you have a family and you have other personal responsibilities, trying to do multiple sites can be very, very challenging. It can be very difficult. It can probably, you may have some seasons and times where you're just like, man, I just don't have the energy. And so, what I'm saying to you is, you may need to evaluate in this season of life, is it worth doing to be going on multiple social media sites? Because, and again, I say this based upon your goal of your YouTube channel. If this is just a hobby and you are single, then everything I just said, just ignore everything I just told you. But if you have a family and you work a 9 to 5 job and you are there's a purpose in why you're doing this. YouTube is just not an expensive hobby. Evaluate, is it worth doing this on multiple sites when you haven't become a master and become good in one sandbox? So, but other than that, stay encouraged, my friend. Stay encouraged. Stay encouraged. Stay encouraged. Okay, I did that already. I saw another comment before yours. Oh, okay, it was another comment. You said the goal is to not have a boss. The goal is not to have a boss again, other than your lovely wife that you probably been married to for umpteen years. I feel you on that. I feel you on that. But at the same time, there is a season and a time. And when I say this, I say this with all respect, and I say this not to disrespect your faith. But the word of God says in Ecclesiastes 3:1, to everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under the heavens. Just like there is a season for summer, spring, and fall and winter, there is a season. And so, if that's your goal, to be able to work for yourself and to support your family, look at the season of life that you're in. Look at the season of life that you're in. And then work on your goals and work on your YouTube channel based upon the season. And over time, and I am convinced of this after when I burnt out on this YouTube channel and I stopped creating content, I lost track of what season I was in. And I just got totally burnt out and I stopped creating content because I wore myself out. And I didn't understand, where things fell off on the track. And so I'm just sharing with you, when you understand the season that you're in and you understand what you have to work with, and you just joining with me, I'm not for sure if you heard my first point. You got to have a long-term mentality, a long-term mindset about your YouTube channel. Yes, in this microwave society, in this fast food restaurant, we want stuff now. Yes, we want to see our channels pop off and explode and take off. But what's built and done right over time and that grows organically, you will appreciate it. I know that just sounds like I just gave you a bunch of vegetables and healthy food to eat, and you're like, man, give me some yummy stuff that just I don't. That's what I got for you tonight, man. Catch me on the next live stream on Sunday night. I may have some sweet stuff for you. But moving on. moving on. But I appreciate your comments. And so, batch similar tasks and embracing the art of art of batching. Also, in this season of life that you're in, flashback vibes, how much time are you taking to learn new things that can help you get to that place where you can be your own boss? How much time, instead of investing the time in watching, and I'm guilty of this flashback. So I know those of others who are watching live, you are listening to a conversation between me and Flashback Vibes. But if you have a thought or a comment, please put it in and share your wisdom with my good man Flashback and myself. Instead of watching the latest, and I'm just gonna pick this person's name, the latest Sean Cannell video, Think Media podcast for 2 hours. How much time have you spent maybe listening to an audiobook on entrepreneurship? And if you've read the you know the most popular book on entrepreneurship, how much time have you took back to go back and reread it and digest the principles of it? So you're moving yourself and your YouTube channel forward, taking the time um, to get better at skills like video presentation. A lot of that plays a part. We have some great content ideas about videos we want to publish and what we want to go live about, but our video presentation may not be tight. Our camera and our lighting or our audio may not be tight. And so taking the time to learn how to get better with camera presence, to learn how to get better with our lighting, flashback vibes. I can't tell you how many times I'm constantly going back and forth with my lighting in this small little corner of my YouTube studio, which is basically the corner of my living room. How much time I'm going back and forth with this. But taking the time to learn how to get better with my lighting, my audio, and if it's thumbnails, working on getting better with thumbnails. But what I'm really starting to really dive in is, now that I've made the commitment to get Chat GPT Pro, and that'll help with which image image generation, or image generator with making better thumbnails, is learning how to make better prompts, because it took me a while to get on the AI tool train. It took me a while. I've been playing around with the free version, but more and more as I see how YouTube as a channel is evolving, it's growing, it's changing. AI technology is becoming a very heavy part of this whole process. And so the same way I see it in the workplace, where you have to embrace and use AI on your job, it's becoming more evident that you have to use it in content creation. So taking the time to learn the things that you need to learn while you're working a 9 to 5 job. You say, well, Walter, where am I going to find all this time to be learning all these new things? Hey, sometimes it can be 30 minutes in your car while you're having lunch and you're listening to an audio recording on a topic that you need to become more efficient at. It can be 30 minutes if you are not in a car, but you're using public transportation and you're on the train coming home from work and listening to an audio or a video on your mobile phone. You can find and make the time to learn. And when you get home and you spent that time with family, with children, you make sure their homework is good. You make sure you understand what's going on in Mr. Rod's life, little Rod's life, and what's going on in little Rachel's life, what's going on in school. Do you need to show up at the next parent teachers conference meeting in person instead of always sending the wife, but making your presence known? Hey, while you're waiting in between classes to see the next teacher, Hey man, you got your phone. Or my sister, you got your phone and you're taking time to learn. You're making the time to be able to get better on YouTube. Okay, so take the time and then keep scaling. You hear people say get 1% better with each video that you publish. Keep scaling, get 1% better in the recording of the video, not just the publishing of the video. Get 1% better. Keep scaling in the recording of the video. Keep scaling up and get 1% better in the editing of the video. Get 1% better. Keep scaling even when you go live on a live stream. Yeah, you muted yourself for the umpteenth time. We all go through it. We all are going to make live stream mistakes. We're all going to have live stream nightmares. Keep scaling up and get 1% better. And over time, you're going to see progress. Not perfection, but progress. Because practice doesn't make perfect. Practice produces progress. Practice produces progress. Progress helps you get views. Progress gets you your channel and your videos in front of a bigger audience through the YouTube algorithm. Practice and progress will help you to get subscribers. Practice and progress will help you to take casual viewers who've become subscribers to becoming a part of your community, to ultimately, if you have a product or services that you're trying to sell, for them to get on your email marketing list. Practice produces progress, doesn't make perfection. So keep scaling. If you haven't heard anything I said tonight, but take this one nugget and all these things that I've talked about, give yourself grace. Give yourself grace despite the bumps in the road, despite the mistakes you may be making and the frustrating periods of time that you may be going through, and your views are down, your views are low. You just seem to can't get any traction right now. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself grace. This is just a learning process. You allow your YouTube channel to become your Mr. Rogers neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Would you like to be my neighbor? Treat your content and your platform with that type of attitude. Don't see it as the thing just doesn't work and I just can't do this and just start tearing stuff up and trying to, for the sake of trying to do something else to make something happen, when you just need to give yourself a grace. And when I say give yourself grace to make mistakes and give yourself grace to experiment. And if it's necessary, to do something new. Okay. Give yourself grace. And then finally, remember your why. Remember your why you started doing this on YouTube. Your goal of why you wanted to launch a YouTube channel, why you wanted to publish videos, despite the format you may be doing it in, shorts or horizontal, live or podcast, mobile, people watching you on mobile or watching you on YouTube TV through your HD television. Remember your why you're doing this and why this is important. When you remember your why, you don't fall into the trap of having a very expensive hobby on YouTube, because it costs money to be on YouTube, especially when you have a live stream platform. If you're on Mac or Apple, you have Ecamm, that's an expense. Or if you have Apple or Mac or an PC, use StreamYard, that's an expense. It's an expensive hobby. But you got to determine that I'm going to remember my why, my goal, and my value proposition when I tell someone that this is what you can get from watching this video. you deliver on it. So that's the content tonight. Hey, if you've gotten great value out of this episode of The Huddle, click that like button for me. Hit that thumbs up. If you're new to The Huddle, here, where our goal is to help working class content creators like yourself to grow your channel, get more views, and make money online, subscribe to the channel. Click the alert notification button and be a part of the conversation of The Huddle that we have every Friday and Sunday night at 8 p.m. I want to thank each and every person who has been watching us live, even if you've been an online casual viewer, just popping in and out. But the simple fact that you took time to just watch a bit of The Huddle, what's your one takeaway tonight that we talked about? Let me know in the live chat or let me know in the comment section. And we will see you on Sunday night at 8 p.m. here on The Huddle. Hey, remember, YouTube, it's a marathon. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So give yourself grace and subscribe to The Huddle. God bless.